Krishna Hare नाम संकीर्तन की जय।
मैं बनाऊंगा महाराज कीर्तन करेंगे।
Are we supposed to say it? कहाँ है? कैसे उतारते हैं इसको? ठीक है।
ठीक से बोल दो। हारमोनियम बजाऊंगा, आप बैठ जाओ, यहीं बैठ जाओ। कभी लग रहा ना हिम्मत छूट रही है, कभी लग रहा हिम्मत छूट रही है करताल की। किस साइड से आएंगे? जैसे आएंगे राइट से लेफ्ट से? पक्का जैसे इंडियन लर्न स्ट्रेट।
वाइब्रेट कर रहा है।
कहाँ है? अरे रखो ना अपने पास, बजाना ना कभी।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।
जय जय। हरे हरे। Nice to meet you. See all of you again. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Want to keep it?
Yes, sir. I'll introduce. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we today faced by the presence of His Holiness Bhakti Vinoda Swami Maharaj, and I just want to share a little bit about him. At least my experiences with him. I really enjoy. Being with him, and once he took us on a Govardhan Parikrama, personal Govardhan Parikrama from Champa and I. And while going there, we spoke You sometimes feel that, he's a Maharaj and he's a, Swami, and, you're walking with him. But so many things when we were talking, it really felt as if I'm speaking to like sometimes a professor, sometimes a traveler, sometimes an author. So I really enjoyed the 6 hours that I spent walking along with him. We spoke on so many different things, and that is what quintessentially Maharaj is, that he can speak on virtually anything, and you will really find it really insightful. That's what I enjoy about his presence, and I really hope that today we all also feel that, and we all also get to experience that a little bit. Maharaj came into Krishna consciousness early in his life, and around 30, Maharaj, when you were 30? 28, when he was 28.
Too late.
Yeah. And I remember him telling me that I used to be, initial years of his Krishna consciousness, he used to be still working, right, in the corporate world. And he said to me that I used to go to office, and in office, I used to just think about this, that when will I reach home? Till that part where I think all of us relate to him, right? Office jate hain, we all think, when will I reach home? But his reason was different. He used to think, when will I reach home, and when will I get to close the door, seclude myself, and just immerse myself into the Bhagavatam, right? I went inside right now also. He's like, I'm enjoying the Kirtan outside, and he was reading a book. He was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is my enjoyment, right? So a person 30 years ago who had already reached that stage, that when will I, like we reach home, and when will I switch the TV on? When will I put my phone on? When will I see my reels, right? That same, cheshta that you have, if someone had for the Bhagavatam, and 30 years later, just imagine we get to hear from such a person. I know Maharaj hates being deified, being called a Maharaj and put on a pedestal, but Maharaj, that's what we do. And please, let's have a big Hari Bol for him and welcome him today here. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! His Holiness Bhakti Vinoda Swami Maharaj ki!
Don't take him very seriously. It's a nice guy.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavallabha Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Radha Madhava Kunja Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Rajanandana Yashodanandana Rajanandana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Yadavaya Namah, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Yadavaya Namah, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah, Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Gopal Govinda Ram Sindhu Tuhana. Gopal Govinda Ram Sindhu Tuhana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Hare Namah Yadavaya Namah. Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Gopal Govinda Ram Sindhu Tuhana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Gopala Jaya Govinda Jaya Radha Hari Govinda Jaya Radha Hari Govinda Jaya Govinda Jaya Gopala Jaya Govinda Jaya Govinda Jaya Gopala Jaya Govinda Jaya Radha Hari Govinda Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai गौर प्रेमानंदे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणार विंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की श्री प्रभुपाद की प्रभुपाद अनुगा की समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Any book to read? Yes. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tansa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Anything to read from Prabhupada's book?
Any book you read?
Anything? Just Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all for taking part in Harinama Sankirtana. Sounds so beautiful. And there is a beautiful understanding also with great depth. What all of us have done here today under the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the previous Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, is that we have touched the absolute truth with our tongue and our ears. This is no ordinary feat. But we're doing it without knowing what an important thing we are doing. We don't have much value for it immediately. But then one good quality is that we're doing it because Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada said you do it. Senior Vaishnavas said, your Guru said, and in the Parampara everybody said, there must be something good about it. I don't know so much about it, but I'll do it. That's a good thing about a tradition. In tradition, we follow authority. You know, the Vedic tradition is vertical. It's like, order comes from above and you do it. The Western world is Platoed, horizontal. No order from the top here. We are all same. We are all equal. I don't mind you telling me in a nice, friendly way, do this. Okay, I'll do it. It's Platoed. But actual authority means vertical. So we are respecting some tradition, some vestige of a tradition still remaining that we say, okay, our bade log bolte hain, to hum bhi karenge kuch. Like that we have some respect, authority. Of that is also being very fast eroded. But because of that, we have some faith and we chant the holy names. And we chant the holy names, actually what's happening, everything about Krishna is absolute. Everything about Krishna is absolute. Everything about the absolute is perfect. Everything about the absolute is perfect. Why? Because it's not of the relative kind. The material world is relative. Relative means there is good, there is bad, there is black, there is white, there is day, there is night, there is one, there is two, there is tall, there is short. Dvandva mohena bharata. There are binaries everywhere. And we live out of binaries. Whole technology is based on binary. The binary of 1 and 0. It's built. Softwares are built on the basis of that. Everything, language, everything, it's all binary world, which is a relative world. But imagine that something is absolutely free from anything relative. It's absolute. In the material world, mostly people don't accept anything absolute. Scientists, philosophers don't talk this absolute stuff. They don't like it. But actually, whether you like it or not, you've touched the absolute truth. That is the meaning of Harinam Sankirtan. You may even philosophize and think, I'm not, into the absolute stuff. But you may chant Hare Krishna. And you may have touched the absolute truth. That is the kindness of Krishna. That although you may not accept him, he has entered you through the tongue. That is why he is considered to be very, very merciful in his form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That I don't mind whatever wrong you have done, whatever offenses you have committed. My mercy is so overwhelming, so all-embracing, because without me, how else will you get anything successful? And you may not agree, you may not accept, but I know what is good for you. So I'm going out of my way and embracing you and giving you this benefit. Pitaham asya jagato mata data pitamaha. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said that I am your father, I am your mother, I am your grandfather, everything for you. He made the statement. It's actually a real statement. He said, I am your father, mother, grandfather, everything for you. Permanently. Eternally. So who knows what's good for me? He knows best. And you may not know what's good for you. That doesn't matter to him. Your ignorance doesn't matter to him. Because he's real father. Your father, you see the kid saying all sorts of things. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, fine, very good. We'll do that. But right now you do this. He just enforces himself very nicely because I know what's good for you. You may not know. And I will thrust it upon you, I'll force it upon you. I'll play some trick and, feist it upon you. But somehow I will make you experience it, enjoy it, because out of care, out of concern, out of love. So when the Supreme Absolute Truth, Prabhupada said, the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. He is Krishna. Full stop. This is very, very irritating to philosophers and everybody to hear that the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. He is Krishna. This is the person. And this is what he does in Vrindavan. He hangs around with a flute in his hand and a peacock feather up his this thing, and he plays mischief, he steals butter, he goes with all the gopas into the forest and he kills demons, and then he has fun with the girls in Vrindavan, and he does all these things. These are all his activities. So many people can't match it up. Yeah, how is it possible that you speak such high level of philosophy, the absolute truth, and you bring us down to such a level of performance of the absolute truth? All this is very difficult for people in the relative world to understand. But absolute, everything connected with Krishna is absolute. His name, his form, his pastimes, his devotees, pure devotees, all of them have the nature of the absolute. When we look with this understanding, if you look at the pastimes of Krishna and the leader of Krishna, we'll be in a better position to deeply understand them. Otherwise, we may just understand them as a story. A nice story to hear once. Second time, okay. But after that, is there a new story? Is there a better story? But once we understand that this story is about Krishna, it's about the absolute truth, when we hear it, we want to hear it again and again, more and more, again and again. There's a nice story in Gurgaon. Some of you came to Gurgaon, right? How many of you came here to Gurgaon? Quite a few of you. There's a place very close by. There is a big Shiva temple in a place called Perintatta. It's called Perintatta Shiva Temple. Very famous, very old, ancient temple. There was a very devout devotee of Lord Krishna in Guruvayur. And he was known to explain the Bhagavad in the local language. You know, the dialect. It's not exactly Malayalam language, but like the village, they speak in some way. So he was, explaining the whole Bhagavad stories in that. And very expressively, and he would, animatedly apply it to everyday life and crack jokes and make it so nice that people gather in thousands to hear him. A simple old person. So he was good at giving this katha. So everybody is coming to hear him. So in that temple, in the Shiva temple, he spoke the Bhagavad. Especially he spoke from the 10th canto. And he started speaking from Rukmini Krishna Samvad. It's a very beautiful chapter. Rukmini Krishna Samvad, Krishna spoke to Rukmini. He started joking with Rukmini and teasing her a little bit. She was fanning him. Rukmini is very reserved and her love for Krishna is very solid. She doesn't talk too much. She's just action lady. Satyabhama is one who talks a lot and does other things, but Rukmini just keeps quiet. And so Krishna wanted to taunt her and get her out a little bit. So as while she was fanning, he said, I've just been thinking about it, maybe I was just considering that I hope you don't think that you made a mistake by marrying me. Just started, just a cowherd boy hanging around Vrindavan. I have no asset. I'm not a king like all these great kings. And in that whole assembly, there were so many great kings. Why did you choose me? What of all, did you make a mistake? Maybe you made. And then he started speaking very derogatively about him. The absolute truth is speaking, but speaking in a very relative way, relativizing him and saying maybe you made a mistake and this and that and all that. He actually said it. And he started going on and on and on and on. There's a very nice, sweet conversation. Rukmini took that very seriously. My husband is asking this, why did you marry me? But after so many years of life, he's saying this serious? And then she fell down, fainted and fell down while fanning her. Boom, she fell down. This very sweet pastime. Then Krishna said, oh my gosh, he really took it very seriously. I was playing the joke, just trying to provoke you. And then he lifted her and put her in his lap and said, Rukmini, sprinkled water on her and all that. I was just joking with you, why do you take it so seriously? I was just, saying this is. He said, no, what you said is right. Then she gave an amazing purport to everything that he mentioned in a relative way, which she took in a relative way and fainted and fell down. But when she got up and she got consoled by this, immediately she gave an absolute explanation. Of course you are right, what you said. You were like this. She gave an amazing purport to everything. And Krishna was stunned listening to her philosophical explanation for everything. So it's a very beautiful this thing. We don't have time to go into the detail. You should sit and read it. It's very amusing and at the same time very deep. She conveyed to Krishna that don't think I don't know who you are. That you are the supreme absolute truth. That you are Bhagavan. All that I know. I know everything about. She conveys that very nicely and Krishna became very pleased with her that she took the joke properly also. So this story, this devotee Pundanam was explaining in that Shiva temple. And it was so amazing, people were absorbed in it. He was giving all these nice anecdotes and everyday life stuff and everything. And at the end of that, people were so happy, they all went happily home. And in his Bhagavad, he put the bookmark at the end of that chapter. And he took it. The next day he came again to speak. It's like a 10-day katha. He found that the bookmark was advanced to the same chapter again. Somebody had taken the bookmark and said, let's go back to the Rukmini Krishna Sambad. Somebody has put it like that. So he opened and saw, what did I not speak about this yesterday? Why is my bookmark here? He again spoke about Rukmini Krishna Sambad. And today completely different he spoke. Something else he spoke. And people were very absorbed. Nobody complained. That yesterday, Kalto, you spoke about this again. Why are you speaking on this again? Nobody complained. And he was also surprised. Maybe I gave that session somewhere else. It happens to me sometimes when I'm speaking a lot, this program. Where did I say that? So he thought that maybe nobody's saying anything about it. I'm the only one who feels this. The next day also the same thing happened. Again it was in that place. He said, boy, this is something wrong. I remember yesterday I spoke, the day before yesterday I spoke. And then he said, somebody's put the mark like this. And very reluctantly again he spoke and he got absorbed and he spoke something completely different from what he spoke the past 2 days. Krishna's Leela is so huge, wide, and you can see it from various angles. So he spoke very nicely. But then in his mind he was thinking, 3 days of Rukmini Krishna Sambadya, chapter badalne ka hai. I'm not able to, this thing, what is this? But that was like the last day. So he was thinking in his mind, but he was not talking about it. And then people were leaving, so he gave all of them prasadam and everything, and they all left. And he was alone in that big temple compound and the huge gate and the leaves rustling and the breeze blowing. He was thinking, why did I speak for 3 days? I've not done this before. Like that. And then he got up and he left. But then after walking some distance, he said, oh, I forgot my Bhagavatam there. So he came back, that gate was closed. Temple is closed. So he sat down at I opened, then he saw something inside there. He saw an amazingly effulgent person with the jada mudi and all on his head, sitting there with a snake around his neck, reading that Bhagavat. Rukmini Krishna Sambad, he was speaking. And there was only one lady there sitting very nicely. The audience was only one lady and listening. And he sat down near the gate. Said, oh my gosh, this looks an amazing, spectacle I'm watching. So he sat down and he heard the whole Rukmini Krishna Sambad. 4th time, get from another person he heard. But it was so sweet. And he enjoyed it highly. And then, this person said, I think it's almost sunrise now. We better go. And he closed this thing and he asked her, so how did you enjoy the Rukmini Krishna Samvad? She said, beautiful, wonderful, but not as good as Pundanam. He spoke for 3 days. Then he understood what is going on here. And then they both got up, let's go, and they went off inside the temple. As they were going, he said, hey, my book, my Bhagavad. He started screaming from the gate. Then that personality turned around, Lord Shiva, and with an effulgent look, he smiled and said, that's there in your house on the top of the thing, you'll go get it. He just sat there and he left. And then he was so thrilled. He said, this is Lord Shiva from that temple. He is the one who put the marker again and again in the chapter. I want to hear it again. I want to hear it again. I want to hear it again. And then he, based on what he heard, he spoke again. And she said it's not as good as Pundanam. All this he watched. This is the nature of Krishna Leela. Because it is absolute. You can hear it again and again from different people and different angles and different ways, and it impacts you. It impacts you. Absolute. But if you keep here, seeing the same novel again and again, or hearing the same story again, say, yeah, I heard it, I know it. But there are some people who still do that. They see some movie 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and by heart every scene of it, and they know all the stuff. So you may be wondering, no, that happens to me also like this. Well, that's another thing. I won't talk about it. But that's another thing. That means you have descended to a different level, an addictive level of something else in the relative realm. But navanava udyadum rantum asit. The thing about the absolute truth in hearing is that each time it is a different rasa, although it is the same event. Because Krishna is absolute. When we chant the holy name, every time you hear the chanting, you feel nice. In different places. Somebody can be thinking, kya yaar, again and again you guys are singing the same mantra, repeating the Hare Krishna mantra so many times. Are you not bored about it? You're not. You're not. People get absorbed in kirtan, they dance, they chant. They're not thinking that it is repeated and all that. They don't think like that because they're enjoying it. There is a new taste in it. That's the nature of the absolute. A few days back was Ulta Rath. The day before yesterday. Yeah. We did Rath Yatra in Coimbatore. Ulta Rath Day. And many people attend Rath Yatra, and many devotees sometimes go to Jagannath Puri to see. How many of you gone to Jagannath Puri and seen Rath Yatra? Rath Yatra have you seen? Only 1, 2, 3, 4. Rath Yatra is some event to see. At least once in your life you should see in Jagannath Puri. Of course, it's not easy to see. To go and top on one of those buildings and see. All the buildings, rooftops are all on rent sale for the day. The entire Grand Road. You go on top and you can see it's a spectacle to behold. So sea of people, lakhs of people pulling the Ratha. Then you know who is God. You really know who is God. The Britishers saw it and coined the word Juggernaut. You know that? The word Juggernaut came from there. After they saw it, there was a huge gathering. They've never seen such a gathering before. Why? Actually, all of those simple devotees, those Orients, are involved in a deep emotional relationship with Krishna. It's a complete spiritual thing. They come all the way from all sorts of places. It's Muslims who come, Buddhists who come. Everybody comes for the Rath Yatra, all sorts of people. They have a relationship with the Lord. They've heard the story. They've heard and they know the Lord is performing a Leela, a pastime, by going on to the Ratha. I heard something different the last time I went. The one type of pramana, proof, is called Aidiha. You must be knowing about Shabda Pramana, Anumana Pramana, pratyaksha pramana, like that. There are 7, many more. One of them is aidiham. Aidiham means locally known tradition. That's also accepted as a proof. If you go to Vrindavan, you will hear many more stories that are not mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Radharani did that, the Gopis did this, Lalita did this, which you have never heard everywhere else. But we take it because the Brajavasis know it's coming down, and they all know over a long period of time the stories, and we hear it and we repeat it. We know it's true. In the same way, there are stories in Jagannath, Puri, that it makes us enter into the absolute nature of Krishna Leela. It shows that it's a dynamic, highly spirited, fully conscious, stimulating relationships that are there going on. It's very excitingly new every moment of those relationships. Krishna is enjoying them. That's why he's called Rasa Raj. He's called the king of rasas, which means that he is very expert at enjoying different humors and relationships with different type of devotees. Each devotee is different. It's not some boring thing. Each devotee is different, and with each devotee he enjoys a completely unique relationship. And he's capable of handling all of them and maintaining and managing all of them together. You know how difficult it is to manage relationships for you in this world. You know that? You know, all of you, right? A relationship with the kid nowadays is a big thing. The daughter, the son, relationship with the husband, with the mother-in-law, which is one of the biggest challenges that we've heard of always, with the in-laws, with the relatives, with the neighbors, with the keeping up with the Joneses, all these things. Life is like it's all about relationship and managing them and things together so that you can be peaceful. Imagine Krishna maintains a relationship with billions and trillions of living entities, all simultaneously. Each one of them are different. Each one of them are different. And each time it is different. Right? That's why he's called Rasaraj, king of Rasa. There, it seems that the idiham there is that the Lord, if you go to Jagannath Puri, you know that they will celebrate. I spoke about Rukmini Krishna Samvad. They celebrate Rukmini's wedding. You know when it took place? Do you fast for Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi? Krishna Rukmini Haran happened on the day of Pandava Nirjala Ekadashi. And the next day you will see in the calendar is Rukmini Dwadashi. You've seen that? Next day is Rukmini Dwadashi. On the day of Rukmini Dwadashi, there is a big celebration in Jagannath Puri. In the temple, the Madan Gopal deity comes out. And there is a wedding between Lakshmi and Jagannath, commemorating this Rukmini Dwadashi when he got married to Rukmini. This is a big festival there. They tie up the sari of Lakshmi and Jagannath's Angavastra. They tie it up like that. And there is all sorts of festivities there. And there is Shishupala. One of the Pandas becomes Shishupala and everybody attacks him and all that thing happens. There's just this thing and all done. They make fun of him, Krishna shaved away his mush and all that. Because Krishna book, you will see that he took a vow and said, I'll not come back alive if I don't bring my sister. And he chased Krishna, and Krishna, finished him off and was ready to kill him. And Balaram came and said, don't do it. She's very young and she just is watching her brother being killed by you. You're the husband. How can you do that? Stop it. And you're just taking her away and you're killing her. Stop it. He came in support and supported Rukmini a lot. And Rukmini was, my God, I know, she was in great anxiety. All this happened. So what they do there is they take Shishupala and they do all sorts of things to him. It's a fun wedding, it seems. I've not seen it. But all that happens there. And after that is Snanayatra. After that, the Lord goes to Snanayatra. So during the Snanayatra, he comes outside the Snanavidhi. And he gets to see the pathway to Gundicha. It seems while taking bath, he sees it, he is reminded of Vrindavan and the gopis and everything like that. So from then onwards, he plans that how to go now to Gundicha. So he makes a plan. He falls sick. He falls sick with a plan. Actually, he's not simply falling sick. Some people will say that there's nothing called falling sick and all that. It's just that the Lord gets painted because when he has Snanayatra, all the vegetable dyes and all come off. And all over his face, it's all red, black and everything. So they repaint him inside. That's what it is. But that's not enough explanation for 15 days absence from the altar. But there is deeper. Aidiham, I said, locally they said, no, he planned this. Actually, while taking bath, he planned because he was thinking in his mind, going to Gundicha is going to Vrindavan. Vrindavan, I cannot take Lakshmi. She doesn't fit in there. The mood is different. Here I am in Sri Mandir. I am, opulently worshipped and I am the Lord of the universe and everything. But when I go to Vrindavan, I am equal to everybody there. I am like a gopa, they sit on my shoulder, they put a flower in my ears and then this happens and then I play games with them and then my mother screws up my ears and says, why did he go to do this, come here? And then all sorts of things happen. I'm an equal, Platoed. I'm equal to everybody else and because of their love I'm completely controlled and all that. Lakshmi doesn't fit in there at all. Too much of Aishwarya and Lakshmi also is enjoying that position. I am Lakshmi. Like that. So I cannot take her. Because after wedding, he's thinking in his mind. So what shall I do? And that's why he puts up an act, it seems. He falls sick. He falls sick and Lakshmi is, my husband is sick. I just got married to him. Just, some days back, I got married and my husband is sick and she'll become very anxious, like a very nice, simple lady. So she looks after him. And day and night, he keeps her awake. Something he will tell in the night, and then she has to do that. There's all sorts of medicines and all made for him and all that. In each temple, I think they give all this, Chavanaprash and then all these other type of medicines now they make and they give him. So he kept her very busy. And she was like, 24 hours awake and looking after him. That was his plan. At the end, he became all right. Then he was ready to go actually. She said, okay, it's all right, let me take some rest. He said, yeah, you take rest. And then he took such rest that she didn't get up for a long time. So he escaped. He went off on the Radham with his brother and sister. She's sleeping here, leave her alone, don't disturb her. Don't disturb. She's been 15 days awake. I'm just going for a visit and coming to Gundicha, my mother's place. He didn't tell that I'm going to Vrindavan. He said, I'm going to my mother's place. Because Gundicha is his mother's place. If you know the history, Indradyumna Maharaj, the Lord appeared there in that place in Gundicha. That's where he was carved and he manifested himself, spoke to Indradyumna Maharaj, if you know the big history. Spoke to Indradyumna Maharaj and that time Indradyumna Maharaj asked him for a boon. He said that one boon I want is that I don't want to have any children. And Gundicha, you didn't even consult with me and your wife and you're just going and asking. Her heart skipped a beat, it is mentioned. And then how did you go and tell Lord Jagannath, I don't have to? First you consult with me. You got married. Married people should have children. Putrahinam griham shunyam. Without a son, what is the use of a grahastha life? It's zero, shunya. And you didn't even consult me. And you're going and telling. And Lord Jagannath knew, it seems, immediately that, oh, she's feeling like this. So he sanctioned to Indradyumna Maharaj, okay, you won't have son. Then he asked, why are you saying this? He said, you know what will happen in my family? I'll have children and they'll all claim you. Jagannath is our family property, Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra are a family property. They'll claim you and then after that they'll get into all sorts of problems generation after generation. So I want to have no children. No children. Me and you. I'll be making that big temple for you and everything. So Lord Jagannath appreciated that and kept in his relationship rasa with him.
But then he was also watching that Gundicha was looking very sad. They'll not have children. Then he spoke to Gundicha and he told her that I'll be your son. Don't worry. I'm your son. After all, I was born here, in this place, in your house. In this way, Gundicha became a little pleased. So the reason he told while going is, going to see mother here, just became sick, got up, eat some good things and all that. She goes, I'm going to see my mother and her family members. But actually that was his trip to Vrindavan. He was going to see the gopis especially. This is what he was going for. So he left. When Lakshmi got up, she was very surprised here. Nobody there in the temple. There is no Balaram, there is no Subhadra, and no Jagannath. My husband ran away without telling me. How rude. I looked after him for 15 days. I just slept a few extra hours. He was so tired, and then I got up and he leaves. Doesn't even tell me anything. And she was very hurt very much. But Krishna already decided Lakshmi doesn't fit in there in that mood. She should not come for a different reason. So when she got up, she became very disturbed and she went around looking for, nobody is there. Whom shall I talk to? The only person in the temple was Vimala Devi, Lord Shiva's wife, who had got a special boon that I will get the prasadam first and then I'll make sure everybody gets prasadam, Jagannath prasadam and all that. That's another Leela. She was the only one. So she went and poured her heart to Vimala. This is what he has done. This has happened like this. So Vimala said, don't worry, all these men are like this. All these men are like this. I'll give you a special mantra. Plus, I will also give you a special powder. You go. Don't leave this alone. Unless you protest, you will face more of this. So she excited. Lakshmi thought, fine. You are right. Her mood completely changed. She became angry. We should do Inqilab Zindabad. Make you understand, what is right and what is wrong. Looks like you don't know. If I leave it like this from the beginning, it's going to be nipped in the bud. I just got married, I understand, but I want to tell you that I don't accept these type of things. So all this hyped up. And Lakshmi goes, 5th day after Rath Yatra is Hira Panchami. Angry Lakshmi goes to Gundicha. And it's mentioned that she didn't take the same route that Jagannath took. Because his agents will be there on the route. And they're going to tell. So she took another route. There's another route for Lakshmi to go to Gundicha. And that's when everybody gets Lakshmi's darshan. Exclusive darshan of Lakshmi. The angry Lakshmi. She's going to see Jagannath. So she goes there and she goes with her people, her supporters, Lakshmi, Devi Ki Jai, all those people were there. And then they go and she tells, this is the chariot he came in, break it. Then they go to Gundicha and they see that Nandi Ghosh and all the chariots, 3 chariots. Which is the chariot of Jagannath? This is again, break it. Even today they break a portion of the chariot. Token breaking. They don't break the whole chariot. They can take pieces of it. And then they will give all sorts of galis. The Lakshmi Devi's people, they will give galis to Jagannath's servants, all the pandas and all that. Say, who do you think you are? What a coward you are. Without telling you ran away. Your master is like this. You say, both of them have big, talk, I heard. And then Lakshmi Devi will go inside angrily. Everything stops because it's a completely different mood. She's come and says she'll stand in front of Jagannath and look at him very angrily. There'll be no conversation. She says, look at him angry, and then suddenly she'll take that powder, blow it on his face. Blow it on his face. And then she'll turn around and speak to the panda and say, watch out. Tell him, wife came to see him and want him back as soon as tomorrow. No delay. And the panda will be shivering. This is Lakshmi speaking. And she'll go back angrily. And then Lord Jagannath says, okay, wait, thoda gussa hai. But I'm going to finish my Gundi chapter. So he forgot that for the moment. We'll manage it later when it comes. Right now, I don't want to get disturbed. So he went on with his Leela in Gundicha, enjoyed with the gopis and everybody together, and then Ulta Rath happens. In the main Rath Yatra, you will see Lord Jagannath going very beautiful, dressed, Sringarabesh and all that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in the Rath Yatra, seeing the beautiful Lord Jagannath, because he could see him as Vrindavan Shyama Sundar. And Lord Jagannath saw him as Radharani in the mood, and both of them were in a relationship, and this, the Rath will move for some time, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will fall back, and then Jagannath will wait, and then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in, again he will move, and there's very ecstatic kirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is splitting himself into 6-7 different Sankirtan parties and dancing. 7 Chaitanya Mahaprabhus dancing in the Ratham. All this, many people would see, watch, those who could. So it was very ecstatic. But that was Rath Yatra. That is like from Kurukshetra, in the mood of Vrindavan. He was in Dwaraka mood, and then the Vrindavan Vasis went there and reminded him about Vrindavan and brought him back on a chariot. That's what is the original thing. So they go, while coming back in the Ulta Rath, the mood is like, Krishna is leaving Vrindavan. Gundicha is Vrindavan, Sundara Chala. And the Sri Mandir where Jagannath is there, that is like Neelachala. And that is signifying the Lord's opulent mood, Aishwarya mood in Dwaraka. But when he goes to Vrindavan, he is like, I told you, equal with everybody else and completely subordinate to their love. And that is where he really enjoys. But now he's leaving Vrindavana and coming back. It was like Akrura came to take Krishna away from Vrindavan. And then the gopis all protested. They held the chariot's wheels, they lay down on the floor, they spoke to the horses and said, and they told Akrura, you're actually Krura, you're very cruel, you're trying to take Krishna away from Vrindavan and all that. The big Jalamela happened and Krishna pacified and said, no, I'll come back. I'm just going because King is calling me for a competition and my uncle has come to take me and I need to go. I'll come back. But he never came back. So, as simply as he said. So, it was separation for all of them that he is leaving Vrindavan. So, Ulta Rath, it seems Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't do any much dancing. He was just behind the chariot and just walking back, just like ordinary, because he's in the mood of separation from the Lord. So, this way, Krishna, in every place, in every situation, even when he is manifested himself as a deity, we spoke about a deity in Guruvayur, Krishna, relating with his devotee so nicely. In the same way, now we are talking about Jagannath Puri and the Lord has come in the form of his deity. Prabhupada called it Archa Avatar. He said incarnation of the Lord like a deity, the deity form. And he performs his pastimes with his devotees. So many stories you can hear, so many stories of the deity with the devotees of the Lord. So this way, Krishna, although he performs these pastimes, and you can see these pastimes, hear these pastimes in different ways. Madhvacharya has mentioned that the Mahabharata can be read in 18 different layers. Some people who are materialistic can read Mahabharata and take materialistic lessons from that. Some people who are in Varnashrama Dharma can get duty-bound instructions from the Mahabharata. But somebody who's in love with Krishna, like the Brajavasis, they can get also a different lesson by reading that. That's the highest lesson. Like that you can, according to how you approach it, you can get, your perspective, your approach, your knowledge, and whatever you need from that. Similarly, when we hear Krishna Katha, we can also, it's fascinating to anybody who hears it even for the first time, even if he doesn't believe in much in all these things also. So as a story, it's very interesting, it's very nice. But as you keep hearing, as you keep chanting Hare Krishna, and as your appreciation for Krishna grows, you slowly develop a little bhakti in you, then the same understanding changes. The same pastime will keep changing if you keep reading it, according to your development of your Krishna consciousness. So there is no limit for hearing Krishna's pastimes. Why? Because it's the absolute truth. Because it's absolute truth. Anandam buddhivardhanam praipatam purna mritaswadanam. It doubles and redoubles and comes in various different ways. So it is ever-changing, fresh, dynamic, and full of spiritual consciousness. Nava nava rasa udyatum rantum asit. Bilva Mangal Thakur has said, don't talk to me about all this relative stuff. Don't talk to me about all these things because I feel like spitting. Because now I'm absorbed in the nava nava rasa udyatum rantum asit. Each time I think of Krishna, there's a new wave of feeling I enjoy. I may be thinking about the same person called Krishna, but each time my experience is different. Nava nava rasa. Newer and newer rasas I'm enjoying each time. So the nature of the absolute truth is a fountainhead of rasas. Every time you touch, you can experience something different. If you are sincere and if you're gradually developing love of Krishna. So that's why if you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's full of these sweet pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his devotees. And they labor so much, they come all the way from very far away and they relate with the Lord. And he ties them up with his loving affection. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they bring for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all sorts of gifts. They come a long journey from Bengal to Puri. They come walking, crossing the river on a boat, this, that, everything. And they bring all sorts of gifts for the Lord. The Lord personally receives them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu receives them on the border. He applies chandan on them, gives them a garland, embraces them, full of affection and love. And it's all about relationship and love and affection. And all sorts of people in various material levels are dealing and relating with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And with all of them, he reciprocates in a different way, uniquely different. Jagadananda Pandit is coming. He is supposed to be Satyabhama from Krishna Leela in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. And Jagadananda Pandit has got so much attachment to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he orders certain things should be done in a certain way. That's it. He's a very good cook and everything. So Jagadananda Pandit, he spent about 2 to 3 months grinding sandalwood oil, extracting sandalwood oil, put it in a big jar, specially made, and carried it all the way from Navadvip to Puri. Why? I want to give this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He and I think, who's it? One more devotee. Together they worked on it a lot. Pure sandalwood oil in a big jar. He wanted to give it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he came and he left it with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's assistant Govinda. This is for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tell him to apply it. This body. And Govinda was thinking, he is not going to accept the scented oil and perfume. He's a sannyasi. But in his mind he's saying, but I can never tell this to Jagadananda Pandit. He means what he says. He cannot accept anything different. So I can't talk to him. So Govinda was in a big fix. How can I go and talk this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He will get angry. But how can I go and tell this Jagadananda Pandit also? I don't think it will be accepted. I'm crushed in between. So after some thinking, finally he went and told, because Govinda was being asked by somebody else, Jagadananda Pandit wants to know what happened to that. Did he apply it on his body? Did he use it? He wants to know whether it's been accepted and he's using it. So finally, Govinda went and told Lord Chaitanya, Jagadananda Pandit, you know him. I am just communicating to you. He has given sandalwood oil for you. See, it's kept here in the shelf. He wants you to apply it. The Lord Chaitanya became very angry. He said, what do you people think? Is this the type of thing a sannyasi should wear? Perfumed oil on his body? And when I walk on the road, you know what people will think? They'll smell you and think, this man has got association with a woman. Why does he smell so good? He perfumed. He must have been having some affair with sannyasi. This is what they'll all say. You want them to say this about me? And then he said, you just don't know what. I don't know all that, but you just tell me what I should tell Jagannath, how to manage the situation. He said, tell him to offer this to Jagannath and offer lamps of this wonderful sandalwood oil will fill the whole atmosphere in Jagannath temple. And the Lord will enjoy it. Everybody, will enjoy it because its ambience will be changed. It smells so nicely. This is the best way to use the sandalwood oil. Offer it to Krishna. What more can I say? Is there anything more you can use it for? So tell him that. Tell him I told him that. I will try, but it's not going to be easy. He said, then he went and told Jagadananda Pandit. And Jagadananda Pandit told him that, I am asking you what happened to that sandalwood oil. I entrusted it to you. Did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu use it or not? So he said, listen, I am just in between both of you. I am really not involved in anything. All I want to convey to you is that the Lord was a little disturbed that a sannyasi like him should apply the sandalwood oil. He said, offer it in the lamp to Lord Jagannath and it will be very nice. And that's, I think, is a good idea. You must do that. Jagadananda had no expression on his face. He said, okay. And then he went straight to the oil, took the oil, brought it to the whole courtyard. Bang! He bashed it on the floor and that all spread all over the floor in smithereens. Hearing that big noise, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out of his room. And his whole sandalwood oil on the floor, and the angry Jagadananda just gave both of them a look and walked outside. That's it. He did this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say anything. For 3 days, it seems Jagadananda locked himself in the room and did not come out at all. Nobody knows what's happening. 1 day, 2nd day, 3rd day, then the devotees went and said, please do something about it. You do something, go in there. Jagadananda is not eaten, he's not come out for 3 days. He's alive or dead? We don't know. They're all very worried. Lord Chaitanya, but he knows what's happening because he's a relationship master. So he went, before taking his noon snan, he went and tapped the door and said, Jagadananda, I'm going for a bath. I'll come back. I want you to cook my lunch. Just tapped the door and told him that. And as soon as the Lord went and disappeared out of sight, the door opened. And Jagadananda came out with some full gusto. And he immediately went and bought all the vegetables and rallied people, all his assistants, and all said, come on. Before he came, he cooked so many dishes. He was a very expert cook and very good at cooking. He cooked, kept it all ready, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. He said, he has come out and he has done the cooking. So he sat down and he said, Jagadananda, I can't eat so much. I am a sannyasi. How can I eat so many things now that you have cooked? Give me a little bit of that. Then Jagadananda angry, he said, just sit down. He said, just sit down. I know what you eat in Jagannath, the chapan bhog you eat every day. I know what Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj feed you regularly. I know how many devotees are offering you. I know your capacity to eat. Just sit down. And then he started feeding. And every time there was nice dish, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate and said, wow, very sweet, very nice, very tasty. Really? Take some more. So every time he finished eating, he take some more and some more and so on. Fed him sumptuously. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to eat to pacify Jagadananda Pandit. He forgot about all that. This is want to get this person pacified. So he ate and ate and ate. Then he commented, "You are a real good cook. And when you cook with anger, it takes even better, it's more tasty." It's just jabbing him a little bit, and he was also, "Yeah, is it so?" Then he ate some more. The both of them were having their relationship. And then finally, Lord Chaitanya said, "Enough! I cannot. I've already eaten for 10 people. You have watched me eating. I'm not eating anymore. I cannot eat. Stop it." And he got up and he said that, "Now you sit down and eat." He's not eaten for 3 days. You sit down and eat. I want to see you eat. Then he said, "No, I'm not eating now." What he says, he means it. "No, I'm not eating now." He said, "Why?" "No, I got to first feed those people who help me in cooking. Then I'll eat." That's the way I do things. So Lord Chaitanya told the servant Govinda, "Stay here. Make sure he eats and come and report to me." Okay? And then he went to take his rest. As soon as he's gone, everyone told Govinda, "Get up, go and massage him. He needs to go to rest." And Govinda said, "Whatever you say." Anything Jagadananda Pandit said, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hears and everybody else hears. Whatever you say, he said, "Go." Then Lord Chaitanya told him, "Why did you come here? I told you to say." "Jagadananda Pandit told me to come here." And I said, "That's all. I don't know." And he's massaging the Lord didn't sleep. He just didn't sleep. After about some time, he said, "Now go and see if he's eating. If he's eating or not." So Govinda went and saw that he has fed everybody else, and whatever is remaining, they are feeding him and he's eating. He came and reported to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is eating. Everybody else is eaten and he is eating. He was such a perfect Vaishnava to feed everybody else and in the end only eat. The good host. It's mentioned that after hearing that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and went to sleep. Take rest. These are very beautiful, sweet leelas, wherein you can see there is a relationship, is a person-to-person dynamic relationship. It's not just ordinary material emotion. It's not just a material emotion. You cry and you feel this and then you materially enjoy that emotion also. These are transcendental emotions. These are transcendental relationships. And Krishna is inviting us into this relationship. He is asking us, have an affair with me and you will see how it works. You will be most happy. In fact, this is what is the goal of life. To fall in love with Krishna and enjoy sweet rasa relationships. This offer is achievable by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. A very lofty philosophy, but even if you didn't understand it, if you do it, you're awarded that. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Only thing he says is, don't commit an offense. An offenseless, offense-free chanting of the holy name gradually really upgrades an individual, upgrades the person to be a full personality filled with consciousness of Krishna and filled with a relationship with Krishna. That is the goal of life. This is the purpose of life. This is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. In many places, in Prabhupada's purports also, he explains that. I'll stop here. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's 20 minutes for questions.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Did you all realize where all you visited and come?
Yes.
Yeah? You went to Gurgaon.
Yes.
Then you went to Dwaraka. Then Jagannath Puri also. Then we went to Chaitanya Leela also. How many, did you realize this? Yeah, how many of you realized? Yeah? We went to so many different places and all was connected by this one sutra that, how Krishna is a relationship manager. chief relationship manager, supreme relationship manager, and it's all about relationships. So we'll just have a little bit of question answer. I had a question, Maharaj, if you don't mind, if you will.
I don't mind. I have no mind.
So, Maharaj, there's this big dream world of relationship with Krishna, and then we're dreaming of that, we're enjoying that, and then suddenly we get an email, and we see, oh, I have a rasa with my boss also. I have a relationship with my with this world also, and then I get caught up with this. So, in between these two, I am living in two worlds right now, and I know that I don't have any urgency right now to make these two worlds one world. How do I develop that urgency? What will make me really feel that urgency, which will, put that fire behind me to really do what is needed, Maharaj?
So you brought the absolute truth down to the everyday, contemporary level. How do we apply it? These seem very lofty and nice. Looks good for a hearing as a story and a nice thing to cut and paste into our life. But it's not so easy for us to practice it. No, there is proof of how it's being practiced in all these leelas. All these famous devotees which we're talking about, they were all people having a life like that too. How did they prioritize? How did they completely get absorbed? So that's also mentioned. The nature of Krishna is that he is very attractive. He is attractive to everybody. Sarva Akarshana, I read that sloka, that he is attractive to anybody and everybody. Therefore, he's got the name Krishna, because he's the Supreme Father. Amaivam sa jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. Now, this is philosophy. This is statements given in the Shastra. Let us say that in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad and everything. And you can see these things being illustrated by many devotees. I'm speaking about a simple devotee, Pundanam in Kerala, who was, completely absorbed. Our addiction to matter, our addiction from many janmas to material life will take a little time for us to step out of it. That's quite natural. It's like, changing habits. Sometimes we're habituated to something that's not really good for us. But when you want to change the habit, you have to put some work into it. It takes some labor, both physically, mentally, intellectually, and we work at it, and over a period of time, if you're sincere, it changes. It's a transformation. You can, lose your addiction, lose this thing and change. In the same way, it's very natural for us to have a relationship with Krishna. It's not something unnatural. It's not a new habit that you're asked to do and form. That you must understand. It's most natural for you to be attracted to Krishna, because that is your original position. Keeping that in mind, if you confidently step into Krishna consciousness and start chanting Hare Krishna and doing all those small things in a small way, you gradually see that you're developing that spiritual vibe. And over a period of time, it will become more and more important to you. It becomes valuable to you. At that point of time, you will really make change. When your value systems, you see, right now, we are drilled in with a certain value system. Money is important. Position is important. Looks are important. Power and influence in the material world is important. These are all where the values are situated for us in our lifestyle. So as long as those values remain like that, it will be difficult to get out of that. So when we start chanting Hare Krishna, a new value system gradually creeps inside. And you're happy about it because you start valuing Krishna, valuing his holy name, valuing pastimes when you read the Bhagavad Gita, you start appreciating the philosophy. Gradually, a value system changes. What normally is considered to be valuable, you understand, is not really of great value. But Krishna Bhakti is of value. And my relationship with Krishna is of great value because it's permanent, it's forever. And this is how I become situated in reality. It's not that absolute truth is something that is, out in the cloud in the sky or something. Absolute truth is the reality. In the relative world, we are not in the reality. So the more you situate in your reality, the more you feel solid and firm. And then the more you do that, the more you feel, I value this. And the more you want to get into it.
Right.
So the transformation occurs slowly, gradually. There is no like magic pill that you can pop in and the next morning you are like full of bhakti and oozing with every pore of your body is bhakti oriented and all that. So that is called sadhana. Sadhana means you start doing some things, although your mind is telling you, don't do it, it's not worth it. Because of the value systems that you have created for yourself from many janmas. Right? But you hear these stories of these devotees, you read the Bhagavad, you chant Hare Krishna, you have answers for that mind telling you, don't do it. So why not? Feels good. It's nice. I went through it. Then in this way you defeat your mental proposition. And gradually you gain power over it. And then you know what is right, what is wrong, and what I should do.
Right.
By the dictations of the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavad, then you become confident. So all this is described very nicely in the Nectar of Devotion. Adau Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Ata Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, like that. So these are landmarks. These are, it happens. So it's a reality. You'll walk into reality. And that's where you belong.
Yes.
So if you ask me, how do I apply it? Just do it. Start applying it. Not some big science that we need to wait for something to happen. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's offer, and he has made it very easy. The most important thing to do is to chant nicely. Hear and chant, take part in kirtan, and just be a simple, humble person ready to serve. And gradually you can build up your bhakti.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Yes, so the forum is open for any questions. Rupesh Prabhu will do the Shri Ganesh.
You have already done. I don't need it.
No, bro.
Prabhuji, you started your satsang with this, that all are equal. You started with that. And I'm asking this question that in spite of that, why different treatment is given to the movement of our society? I will read this from chapter 9 of 29 of Holiness says. We know that Gopi story, when Lord Rama goes there and he hears something from one of the Gopi, he says, a henpecked husband like Lord Rama may accept a wife like Sita who went to another man's house, but I am not henpecked like him, and therefore I shall not accept you again. After hearing this, Lord Rama, what he did, fearing such rascals, Lord Ramachandra abandoned his wife Sita Devi, although she was pregnant and she was asked to go to the ashram. So I have two questions. Why in our society, if something goes wrong, women are always, fingered down that she has done something wrong. And although she has passed that Agni Priksha, whereas on the contrary, with regard to all men over here, if Agni Priksha is done with the men, most of them are failed, like this. So my question over here is why women are always questioned, whereas most of the time she is innocent.
In our society means you mean human society. No? I thought ISKCON society. Human society. Yeah. So, first you spoke about the Dodi example and what he said, and Prabhupada is mentioned. So you were saying that Ramachandra reacted to that comment and went and left Sita in the forest. And although Sita was innocent, he did that. But that's not the reason why Ramachandra did it. It's not that he suspected Sita. It's not that he did not have value for Sita. That is not at all the story. That's not the story. The story is he wanted to be an ideal example of a king. He is not only a husband, he is also a king. So you could actually be asking, why did he play the role of a king over and above the role of a husband, which he should have played? But he preferred to play the role of a king above the role of a husband. So he wanted to show to the people in general that if you accept a responsibility as a king, as a leader, you should stoop to any level to make sure that you don't violate your responsibilities. That to that extent that if your wife is being this thing, you will sacrifice that also. That is the moral of that. It's not that women are treated badly. Lord Ramachandra, that's a popular thing on social media, you see all sorts of things. That's not the way to understand Ramayana. Maybe most people have not read it properly. So if you say, even if you argue for that sake, whatever is, from the side of comments made, Lord Ramachandra treated women very badly. He did that even to his wife. That's not the reason. But if you want to look at it that way, then the answer would be that, no, he's a supreme Lord, he can afford to do that. You don't do it. He knows very well that Sita will be looked after by Valmiki and all arranged by him. He made all the arrangements, and then for the sake of human society, of people who are conditioned by the three modes and who are in the relative world, he performed this. Very well Sita is looked after because he's God. He's not some chota mota fellow on the roadside that, this happened and he will not be able to look after his wife or something. So, Prabhupada also speaks in that same Bhagavad in that particular chapter. In another place, when Sita is kidnapped by Ravana and Lakshmana is told by him to look after her and he didn't, and Lakshmana consoles Ramachandra. Don't worry, we'll find, don't worry, find. Then it's mentioned there that Ramachandra completely became, weakened and he was crying and everything. And Prabhupada comments there, this is what happens to a person who is very attached to his wife in the material world. So can you say that, oh, Ramachandra is also a husband like me, yeah? No, it's not, obviously. Because that same Ramachandra will find Ravana and kill him and get his back. You may not be a husband like that. You may not be able to do that much. So, Leela, when it is happening, you should take only the lessons that are appropriate to you. At the same time, when devotees hear this Leela, they know that the Lord is performing with all his energies in place. And it is not to be seen from the eye of Varnashrama or from moral and ethical principles alone. That's the meaning of absolute. I just explained that. That is why if you know Krishna, if you know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, you know how to look at it, how to understand that Leela. These Leelas are not to be seen in terms of moral, ethical principles. They are beyond, they are transcendental. That's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita also. Krishna says that. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoga iti tatvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. He's telling, you should know how to see my Leela. My devotees know how to do that. They don't get embroiled and get stuck in all moral, ethical stuff. The transcendence goes beyond moral and ethical stuff. Absolute is beyond moral and ethical stuff. So if you don't see it that way, you can't understand the Leela. But if you see a transcendental act of the Lord in the moral and ethical relative platform, then you're in trouble. Then you'll get all these things. Women, equality, and not being treated properly. You'll get into all these messy arguments. Of course, we can get into those arguments also and win it in terms of moral and ethical principles also. That also you have not understood properly. right? Certain things. So, I mean, women and equality and all that, you're talking about what equality? What type of equality? If you want to really talk about it, what do you mean by equality? Let me ask you. Define equality. It's a counter question to you.
You only started with all are equal.
All are equal spiritually. All are not equal materially. Obviously, women are not equal to man materially.
Here, what equal when I was saying,
Hmm.
with due regard to everything, that see, in reality, men are more naughty as compared to women. So when we say equal, in fact, that men, it goes for Agni Priksha, more of them will get paid.
That's why now women are also equally getting naughty. Because equality.
I can say 98%.
I just heard before coming here, boy, they told me, this is going viral, you don't know. I said, I don't know. You must know all these things. You're going and simply preaching Bhagavad Gita, not enough. There's one devotee who told me there in Coimbatore. You must know. I said, I'd like to know. You tell me what it is. Do you know that this lady murdered her husband and her children and ran away with her lover? I said, this know it's happening in your place? I said, where? In Kerala. I said, I didn't know. So many cases coming up that the women are, and the Supreme Court and the cases are all, the women's cases coming up and all that, now they have changed their whole mode. They said, no, this is a manipulation. This is a, this, that and all that. The court cases are also coming. I said, I don't know this. Then he said, this is what has happened with women's empowerment. They're being empowered to be naughty also. You're just, I'm using the word naughty, quote unquote. So, you see, equality does not mean certain things. You should define equality. Equality means you treat me with due respect and everything that's needed for me as a woman. I don't have to make me a man in order to be equal. Equality really means, according to Vedic custom, I have a position as a woman. A woman plays a very important role in relationships, especially in a family. She's a fulcrum of all types of relationships. Everything crosses through her. As a mother, as a wife, as a daughter for this thing. She manages those relationships, and the women can do that very well. The higher emotional intelligence they have and all that. They are benefited with all that. So they have a role to play. Treat them like that. Give them respect for the role that they play. That is equality. It's not that the woman should become man. That's not equal. That is a Western idea. That's a Western idea. That's wrong. You see, in the process of empowering women, don't disempower womanhood. Womanhood should be preserved. Childhood should be preserved. Manhood should be preserved. Parenthood should be preserved. That's what's happening now. I call it hoodwink. You're getting hoodwinked by Western thoughts and you're losing womanhood. And that's very vital to culture, to tradition, to keeping our society together. That's the real wealth. That is equality. You give the woman the position and make her feel very prestigious about the position and the role that she's playing in society. If you keep comparing, you don't earn like me, you don't do that like me, you don't study like that. But that's not her role. First of all, you guys understand what is the role of a woman, then judge her according to that. If you don't promote that, if you create an artificial role for a woman and ask her to do that, which is very difficult for her to do, plus manage her womanhood also, you're putting her in a very difficult, unequal situation. And then judging her. It's very torturous. That's not the way to do it. Prabhupada said this whole thing about women's empowerment and all these things is the ploy of men to exploit women more. He said that in the Bhagavad. You can read it. Looks like you're not yet come to those sections. He supports, women's role very nicely, culturally, nicely. Women should be protected, he said. And that's the duty of man. So many things change if you understand it in a proper cultural perspective. In the proper Varnashrama system, women are very high. You know, amazingly, this is coming out in research also now. Of late, there's a huge movement in the West of many women supporting men. You know that? Lots of things are happening. I heard a devotee pass on to me a talk given by a sex worker. That's a nice sophisticated word for prostitutes and all that. So, a sex worker speaking in TED talk by a sex worker, nice looking young lady. She's saying, I know men more than anybody else knows, more than the wives know. Because they come and talk to me things that they can't talk to the wives, to the people outside in the world, and they cry. And many times they pay me for being a listener. And I want to tell you that this is not the way we should keep our men. If you make men like this, then they won't play the role that it will support us and give us security as women. Amazing insight she brought. I was with, this is, see Maharaj, see, this is what's going on. So I thought, my gosh, this is such a good talk about what's happening in the world now. And she's a very honest lady. She's been given a space in TED Talk to talk. And she openly says, I'm a sex worker. And I want to tell you, I'm not one of those, I'm a different type of a sex worker. Many people call me, apart from other ugly things that they try to do, I want to tell you, this is what really thoughtful men who have wives in a good family are visiting me. Why? It's because they are in a mess in the head in terms of the relationship with the wives. And they go and speak to her, to some paid lady whom they don't have any relationship with. And then she found out from that and she said, so it says society is in a mess in terms of values and how to respect. That's why the Krishna conscious movement is very important. Prabhupada is speaking there in the Bhagavatam. He makes no compromise. He just says Shastra cannot be changed and he speaks. We should understand it in terms of value. And we should make human society better. A lot of these are Western ideas and they are stuck with it and they made a mess of the family, of the human society. They don't live life in a rich way. They're just a very isolated, lonely people, each one of them. Each one of them, whether they're women or men. So there's a lot to it in terms of modern commentaries and in terms of traditional commentary. And there's a big topic, but I just want to share with you a few things that I know.
I also heard the same thing that that aside, man can talk much to his girlfriend about the wife, but he will not talk to his wife about the girlfriend.
There are many things like that. But we, in a Krishna conscious movement, we should study these things very carefully, nicely. It's good to have a dialogue on these type of things. You must speak of it and understand it in terms of Krishna consciousness, without any prejudice. Because we don't see man, woman, we see spirit souls. Prabhupada explained this very clearly to a reporter who came in the 70s. What's your view on women's liberation? She's putting a mic on, what's your view on women's liberation? Prabhupada snapped, gave an answer. The moment you speak about woman, where to speak about liberation? And then he said, I see all of them as spirit souls, not as woman and man. Then I can talk to you about liberation. He gave a completely different thing, a slam. And that reporter was stunned. The moment you say woman, where to speak about liberation? Because you're in the bodily concept of life thinking I'm a woman. That's the problem. I'm liberating you from that. He said, I don't see men, women, I see only spirit souls. They are all my disciples, they are spirit souls. That is required. That's why our spiritual quality and our spiritual dimension should be enhanced. Then all these problems are solved. That's our problem. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for your teachings on relationships. And I have two questions. Okay, the first question is, what is the purest form of a relationship? Like, is it between a mother and her child, or is it between the bhaktas and God?
Prabhupada said that the best example of a relationship in the material world that comes nearest to the soul's relationship with God is that of a mother and child. And he said that there is no condition in that. The mother's love for the child is unconditional. Whatever the child does, even when he's grown up, he or she is grown up, it's unconditional love. So Prabhupada said, Krishna's love for you is unconditional. But you are the one creating the mess. If you've read Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet or some other romance writings of his, there is a phrase called unrequited love. You heard that?
Yes.
Unrequited love. That, one person is expressing, another person not responding to it. The boy has written a nice love letter to the guy, I love you and all that. And the other, just throw it aside in the waste paper basket or something. So, unrequited love means not responded to, not respected, not responded to. Our way we act is Krishna's love for us is not responded to by us. That's the problem.
I didn't know that. I used to feel that God is responding to me whenever I am hurt or whenever I'm going through something difficult phase. I feel that God is always with me. But now that you have said it, that God not always responds. So
Not God always responds. We don't respond to God's love.
okay.
Unrequited love is what God has already told in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Bhava Matbhakto Matyaji Mam Namaskuru, fall in love with me. He has already told. He is asking for a love affair with you. And you listen, no. My so-and-so next door boy is so nice here. I will go to that fellow. And then that will fail. And then he'll go to this guy. And then that fellow, this one, everything fails. Oh God. That's afterwards only you go. When you're in distress, you go. And as soon as your distress is over, again you'll forget him. But what Krishna is saying that Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Only both of us. Let's have a love affair. Only both of us. Don't bring anybody else inside. Mamekam. Only me. If you bring other people inside, then it all gets played. Weekend. So that's why I'm saying it's unrequited love. Krishna is already offered, but we have not responded. We have not responded. Look into this very carefully in your life. Take this very seriously and see. Krishna is openly said, fall in love with me. Manmana bhava man bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. Who will say this? Who is the person who has ever told you this? And he's guaranteeing, Ma Sucha, I'll preserve that relationship so nicely and I help you in such a wonderful way to maintain that relationship. Don't fear. It's not like the other guys are doing to you. I'll maintain it for you. Try it. What more you want? In terms of, but we don't do that. Very carefully examine yourself. It's not so easy for us to do it. Why? We are sold out to many material things, material relationships, which repeatedly harass us and challenge us, and which are temporary. Because whomever you invest in, he will die, you will die, the relationship will die. It is only till death. But Krishna's relationship is beyond death forever. He's guaranteeing that. So why will you not do it? Why don't you do it? That's a big question you should ask yourself. When you read the Bhagavad Gita, you ask yourself this question. Sit in the quiet corners of your room, like you were saying I was doing. Sit in quiet corners of your room and actually think about this. You mean to say that the Bhagavad Gita is just some talk, that you should not take it seriously? It's for you and me. God is speaking and saying, this is what is wrong with the whole human society and all you guys. Take this up. So it should be taken seriously. And Prabhupada has come and said, this is the way to do it. Take it seriously. Chant Hare Krishna. So this is not a small thing. It's a solid proposal. And this is the only proposal that's going to help you. Whether you like it or you don't like it, or you have this view or that view about it, doesn't matter. This is reality. It works like this. Because it's a statement of God, the absolute truth. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For clearing
What's your
that
second
up.
question?
Yes. My second question is like
I
as you
tried
have-
this with somebody.
Sorry.
No, I'm joking.
So my next question is like as you have said that we all are soul at a level, but before soul, materialistically, we are divided into men and women, right? But our experiences differ. So when our experiences are differ, so our perspective is different. And like I have seen various situation in which women react to those differently and men react to those differently. Like if men are hurt, they will emotionally close themselves, and if women are hurt, they will emotionally open up themselves, like they will try to express. So now the main question is, if this happens, like if there is a difference in this experience, so how we will go to the soul level and count us equal? Like we are seeing things differently. So how we will recognize that we are a soul?
Good question. So when we are on that concept of understanding ourselves as man and woman, right? So there will be difference and there must be difference. That is, what's the use of being man and what's the use of being woman? We don't want to homogenize that, right? Because the man is getting a certain solace out of associating with a woman. And he wants that. The woman is getting a certain solace associating with a man, a certain security, and emotional security, and various types of things. And she wants a man to assist. That's the way it is designed. That is the way Krishna has created it. So two conditioned souls who think that they are man, who think that they are woman, are together, and the Shastra and the system describes it. Yes, this is what will be, and you get married, and you live life according to these principles like this, and gradually you can climb into the transcendental stage. There is a way of living, and there is a lifestyle that's prescribed. Then you can transcend it. That's called varnashrama dharma, right? So it's all taken into consideration, and there's a design made for that. In Kali Yuga, we are not able to do that to such a great extent. That's a little messy. So we should follow great acharyas like Bhakti Vinoda Swami Prabhupada, who has expounded it from the Bhagavad and from all these things and created a model how it should be. I don't say that in ISKCON we do it in a great way and all that. We're still modeling it and trying to understand things in different ways. But it's possible to do that. And if you look back in history, you'll see people lived like that. So although they were conditioned souls at certain level, performing their sadhana, tolerating certain differences and everything, patience, tolerance, commitment, all that is there in maintaining a relationship also. So when you're doing that, but you're doing it for both together for a higher cause, both of us would like to transcend the situation, and we're going to help each other. So jointly, with a higher ideal, they work together That's what's the meaning of a husband and a wife. So there's a whole program prescribed that you get together and you can achieve success for both. That's the prescription given. So it's sacred. Marriage is sacred. The association of a man and woman is sacred because it's got a transcendental goal to it. So it may look like I'm giving you a very high idealistic. Oh, this Maharaja does not know yaar, he's a sannyasi, he did not get married, he doesn't have experience and all that. No, I don't have experience, I didn't directly do it, but I keep counseling a lot of people throughout my life. I think I know more by not getting married than I know by getting married. Because just like I told you about that sex worker hearing so many things, I hear all sorts of things. I want to tell you these, and then I don't want to hear it. No, I want to tell you. Otherwise, I'll commit suicide. You don't hear like that. So, I mean, I'm a sannyasi of Kali Yuga. So that way, I also learned that, you know, this is what's wrong, this is what's going on, like this, like this. So I may not be able to give you many practical details of it. But generally speaking, I think wisdom, you know, some amount of wisdom should be gained by us by practical experience. Everybody goes through these things. And it's good to go through these things because you grow. When you go, you grow in it. So it's not something new. It's not something new. It's not that you know, in tradition, you will see all sorts of people went through these things. Right? It's not something very new that only we are going through. Foundationally, all these problems are there everywhere. In history also, you can see it. But those people who are successful are those people who went by certain principles in life and tolerated and committed themselves to certain things and lived by a discipline, and in the end, they were successful. Okay?
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Prabhuji, I've really enjoyed this talk, and I just had one question in mind, and that was that you said that Krishna says that you surrender to me. I should be the one. I will love you unconditionally. I will be there for you. And if we do that, then a lot of things get sorted out. But if you are living in this world, and if all of us start doing that, if we start loving him unconditionally, how can we perform our daily duties without some amount of commitment, involvement, and some sort of a relationship with the people with whom?
Of course. Very good question. Yeah. Nobody is asking you to, your spirituality need not exceed your humanity. In the sense that you don't have to stop being humane in your relationship in order for you to be spiritually advanced. It's not that spirituality is substituting your human relationship. Nobody said that. It is transcending. It's not substituting. You're having a higher realization of the relationship that you've had with those people. It will transcend, and they will also transcend along with you in their relationships. Don't think that when Draupadi's sons were all killed by Ashwatthama. 5 sons were killed. He thought it's the Pandavas sleeping and he went and killed them. But he didn't regret it afterwards. And then don't think that Draupadi felt, it's okay, it's all transcendental, they're all spirit souls, and Krishna is my, Guru, he's very close by to me. No, he went through horrible sorrow. A mother lost 5 children. And you think Arjuna did not feel bad about it? Of course. So I'll get you, I'll get you. And then he took Krishna and went and caught Ashwatthama. Right? It's not that action was not taken and there was no emotion, there was no relationship and all. It's with Krishna he's doing this. Along with Krishna, he went in the chariot and caught hold of Ashwatthama. And Ashwatthama was brought. And Bhima said, kill him. Arjuna said, kill him. Krishna said, kill him. Draupadi said, don't kill him. Draupadi said, don't kill him. It's a beautiful conversation in the Bhagavatam. Krishna knows why she is saying it. And purposely Krishna said, I am also for Kshatriya punishment for Ashwatthama. Yudhishthira and Draupadi will say something different. Yudhishthira will support Draupadi. You should not do that to him. Then comes the real reason. Draupadi will say, Ashwatthama is Dronacharya's son. He's a Brahmana. Now Dronacharya's wife will go through the same loss that I have gone through when I lost my sons. I don't want her to suffer for something that he did. Now that will be the extra thing happening. Another lady will suffer loss of a son. No, we don't do that to him. So she was so broad. And it's not that she was not feeling the loss. But on top of that, she was feeling the loss that Dronacharya's wife will suffer for losing Ashwatthama. So she said, therefore don't. Then Krishna said, very good. He came up with, it was very amazing, that conversation. He said, kill him and not kill him. The best way to kill Ashwatthama is to kill his spirit. That's what you should kill him. And then they did that to him. And it's mentioned that Ashwatthama is roaming around. And that in the next millennium, he'll become the Vyasadeva and all that. So the killing of Ashwatthama is all superficial. But what Krishna said and what they understood and did was something much deeper. So in all these leelas and all these happenings, you can see, it is not that humanity is lost. It's preserved. And at the same time, what needs to be done is also done. That's why there is Guru. He tells you how to handle it without violating this or that. We can't, with our puny brains, understand all these things and do something. We are doing that and messing it up. Human society needs somebody like Bhakti Vinoda Swami Prabhupada to tell you this is the way to go. Do this, don't do this. What did they know, the Westerners there at that time? He told them what to do, what not to do, and move ahead. And they didn't know anything. Nobody knew. Even in India, nobody knew. I did not know. I'm from a Brahmin family and I've been worshipping God and all that. My mother does puja and all. I did not know all these things. Just mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita like this. I didn't know. Who is God? I did not know properly. I didn't know who am I. I didn't know anything. That's why I read Prabhupada's genius, wonderful, simply explained. Such a hard truth and understanding. Many people don't know. Many people don't know. They all profess to be spiritually oriented. All simple things they don't know. So you need somebody like this, an acharya like you, to tell you, do this. And you'll be okay. And that's happened to a lot of people in the world. They did it. They chanted Hare Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, understood God, worshipped Him, and felt much better than they were feeling before. And they'll feel more and more better as time goes. Okay? So we need instructions, we need guru, we need, all sorts of resources. Why not? So don't have to think that because you are spiritual, you stop being humane. You stop society and relationships and everything. Both of them go together. What I gave you as an example is a good balance of both. What Draupadi did, what Arjuna did. When Arjuna lost Abhimanyu, he was finished. He just sank down, depressed like nothing. It's not that Krishna told him, Yaar, abhi to aapko Bhagavad Gita bataya na. I just told you Bhagavad Gita yaar, before the war started. You are not applying it properly. Why are you feeling bad? It's a spirit soul. He didn't say all that. He consoled Arjuna. And he said, I know what you're feeling, my dear friend. And he gave him solace by consoling him. That helped Arjuna a lot. He got up and said, let's fight these guys and kill them. He used completely differently, and Arjuna got up with very rejuvenated vigor to fight the Kauravas. So you will see all these things nicely placed. And that's human society. It's not that we are substituting one with the other.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, please. I don't mind. I have all the time in the world. You are grahasthas, you got to go home. And there's prasadam waiting.
But it's last two questions. Mataji's and Mataji's.
Okay.
Two questions.
Mataji is first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Very few Pitajis have asked questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Who said you are unequal?
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
Thank you for today's talk. Prabhu, I want to ask you, I'm audible, no? Yeah?
Just
Okay.
a little louder, yeah.
Prabhu, I want to ask you a question. Like, we all know that we should try and live in the present moment, because at any given time of our life, we just have this moment, though we tend to go into the past and future. So I'm trying to do that, live in the present moment. But when I see the scenario, like every day when I read news, what's happening in the world, especially since the past couple of years, there's so much turmoil and unrest happening in the world. Every day you get a different news. The war is happening somewhere, and there's so much recently hatred, and religious intolerance. I believe a more tolerant race, and we see spirit in anyone. It may be of any religion, any nationality. You try to transcend and just see the spirit, but not everybody sees it that way. So how do we live in the present moment and yet be detached from what is happening around you, and try and not live in fear of the next moment, what's going to happen, where is this world heading? Should we just detach us and just leave it to God that it's destined, what will happen? Or can we, I don't know how to put it, but a lot of anxiety and fear grips my heart, especially when you have children abroad and there's so much crime happening towards immigrants, people from based on your color or your religion. And we have to move in this world. We cannot just live in our home here. So how do we live with that?
You're already doing it. You're living it.
No, I mean to say not worry about it,
You see, you can't be without worrying about it. Let's not do all this artificial thing because somebody had dropped a statement that live in the present moment. Who's the guy who said it? Who's the guy who said it? Why do you cut and paste all these things into your life? Somebody said live in the present moment. Where is it said? Everywhere. Live only in the present moment. Forget the past. Don't think about the future. I don't know who said it. You've taken that as a premise and you're building it around. I'm asking you, who said it?
We always that's the narrative.
That's the narrative. That's the somebody drops it and there's a bestseller. Live in the present moment by so and so from this way, and then that becomes a viral thing and everybody talks about it and everybody uses it in there as a buzzword and they start living around it. We don't live only in the present moment. That may be something that is useful if you're especially having a problem inside. And that may be some sort of a cure, a psychiatric cure for some people saying that live in the present moment, don't forget your past. No. But real life is not just present, past alone. You have to think about your future. You have to. And that's why you sent your children there for their future. And you're worried about their future or not? Of course you are.
Not there's also, and overall, where is this world heading? I feel.
Coming to the point.
Yeah.
The point is not that you're using this phrase present moment without fully being conscious about what you want. Actually, what you want is that everything should be secure and my children should be okay and everything should be fine. There should be no war in this world. It should be peaceful. It's that. It's this, everything. You're asking for all these things together.
Yes.
But invariably, as long as people don't listen to the words of God, the laws of God, and follow that, there is going to be unrest. That is the basic problem. The basic problem is people don't hear the instructions of God, whether it's from the Bible, or it's from the Bhagavad Gita, or from the Quran, wherever, properly. Why don't you factor God in your life properly and listen to the instructions? That first thing is not happening. So what do you expect? When there is no God factored in your life, and speaking now more generally, I'm not speaking like a fanatic Hare Krishna devotee. Maharaj will always quote from Bhagavad Gita and say, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Because you asked a question like that, I'm saying, if there is no God factored in your life, you better get ready for a lot of anxiety. You better get ready for that. That's your problem. That's your problem. That's why I like Trump, because he's a religious guy. He speaks about God. That's a good point about all these people, some of them. They're nutty in some other ways, maybe for others. But he's a guy who's factoring God. A lot of times I see that. Overall, if you look at it. So, if you don't be a leader who factors God inside, there's little chance that you'll be able to help society to keep peaceful. Okay? You as a leader within your family, you should also lead your children towards God. If you really want that security which you're asking for. If you do that, you will get that security. Not only for yourself, also for your children. And not only, it's not an option actually for you. It is the only way. People should learn this the hard way. God is not an option. Right? They're not being, religious or not religious. It's like an optional. It's all Western thought to think like that. Because if you look at the Christian history and the whole, this thing, you will see it's filled with all sorts of problems. Because they didn't understand what God is actually. You'll be very surprised now most people, most great religions don't know God properly. We are assuming that they're a great religion. The largest following in the world is the Christian religion. But they don't know who God is. It's very surprising actually. When I really look into this, how can people just go on like that? So bringing that down, let's just factor God into our life in a simple way. What's wrong? Krishna is saying, Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Don't think he's just saying that. Worship me. Factor me in your life. Slowly fall in love with me. You will. Whatever do that. Even if you don't want to be a Hare Krishna devotee, be a Christian. Why don't you do that? Okay? You will find that will give you the real solution.
Thank you.
Both for your children, for yourself, for everybody else around you. So therefore you must start by actually understanding this. Read the Bhagavad Gita carefully. And if you understand it for yourself, you will definitely give it to others.
Thank you.
Okay?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, last question.
You have to hold it. It's compulsory.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like you told Mataji that we need a guru. So my question is, how do we find a guru? Does a guru choose us or do we choose a guru?
You have to learn some basic spiritual life. Because we're speaking about a spiritual guru.
Yeah.
Not just a guru. Okay, everybody's got a guru. I should also get a guru. Not like that. You must get a spiritual guru. If you look into the Mahabharata, you'll have all sorts of gurus in that. That's not what we're speaking about. Dronacharya was a guru. What did he teach the Pandavas and Kauravas? He taught them weapons, how to use it. He was a guru for using that war, fighting, tactic, all that. What did Bhishma teach as guru? Bhishma was Pitamaha, Bhishma, and he taught everybody. He taught a lot about Rajaniti. He taught a lot about Varnashrama. He taught a lot about things, and he also gave a clean point to Dharma. Krishna is the person. And what did Vasishta teach? What did Vishwamitra teach? You will see all of them taught. Vasishta was like the Kula Guru of them, family guru. But what did Vidura teach? It was not very popular. But what did Vidura teach? And he was telling Dhritarashtra again and again. What was he teaching? He was teaching direct Krishna consciousness. Right? So the real spiritual guru among all these gurus is this person, Vidura. He is highly glorified in the Bhagavad. If you read, you'll see. It's not great things mentioned about Bhishma Dev and all. Something is mentioned. Dronacharya and all that, Kripacharya, not much. They are also gurus. So I understand that when you say guru, you mean a spiritual guru, a devotional guru who lead you to understanding the truth, the reality. So that you will understand by you also first making an attempt to read and understand how will I choose a guru. So I must know something about spirituality and about guruship. Then only I can look around for who will be my best mentor, who knows according to what I have understood. At least that much amount of preliminary understanding you must have. Right? Then when you also pray to Krishna, because you've read the Bhagavad Gita, you'll also pray, lead me to the right guru. Right? So it's mentioned that Krishna sends you guru because you are sincerely wanting it. And by Guru's mercy, you will get Krishna. Both these things happen. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Mentioned. By Guru and Krishna's mercy, you will get the Bhakti Lata Bija in your heart. And then by Guru's mercy, you will get Krishna. By Krishna's mercy, you will be led to Guru. It's nicely mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. You can read that. Okay? Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. A hot piping dinner was waiting for you some time back. It's warmed up now. May have become a little cold, but that doesn't matter. It's prasadam.
We have experts, I'm sure, just piping still.
Yes.
So, Maharaj, I just want to let you know a little bit that Maharaj leads a lot of important projects in the south, including Guruvayur project in Kerala, very nice upcoming temple which will be inaugurated soon. Sudarshan, the Sudarshan chapter will be put on.
It's going to be installed on August 15th, on Independence Day, by giving liberation to everybody.
So that'll be Coimbatore, where Kovai Chandra temple, a very beautiful project, very culturally important project is coming up for years to come. You hear about it. And he's been leading all these projects for years and years now. And amongst all these things, just transiting, he just landed today. Tomorrow he'll be going to the US for other engagements. He gave us time here, and for that we really, really thank him with all our hearts. He's been speaking here for almost more than 90 minutes here. It's not easy. It's not easy to do that and give us time, and we really thank him for doing that by a loud Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Vinoda Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So now the hosts will be Jagadanand Pandit's representatives, and we'll be like, sit down and eat while we serve. Thank you so much. We'll all stand up. Maharaj has brought very special mercy from Jagannath Puri. His personal toothbrush that the Lord uses as prasadi. He's got also Badrinath Prasad. He's got all for all of us. We'll just bring it out, and Maharaj will bless us with all that. Right now, we'll transform this area to a prasadam area. So we'll just share it out. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.